All right, let me just get the announcement back up. And I haven't been too consistent recently, but it's kind of hard. You got stuff to actually do. You got stuff to actually do. That's a strange start. This is not a start that I'm all that familiar with, actually. I know I do know that the Joseki is to play this, but I'm actually not sure how to play this Joseki right because I don't play the Joseki very often, and I don't particularly like this Joseki since Black spent an extra stone here. Because this particular Joseki, white gets outer influence while black gets corner territory. So I'm not a huge fan of this right now. But I do know the 4/4 in answer to the 3/3 is the Joseki move. But as I said, this is not a particular sequence I'm that familiar with. I hardly ever play it. And like invading the 3/3, approaching the 3/3 is something I do need to work on. Kind of late, a little bit later streaming today than usual though, for me at least. Been really, really busy in the summertime. I think I'm still online, right? Yeah, I'm still online. Just make sure I didn't like disconnect. I actually don't know how the Joseki plays out. I think it's like Q17, P16 for white, and then you play like R16 maybe, something like that. I don't exactly know. The the Tengen stone being there actually makes cuts available, I believe. So it is kind of not my favorite, definitely. Maybe this guy just kind of like disappeared. It's taking a long time to answer this move. Definitely taking a very, very long time to answer this move. He's gonna move. Is he going to move? It takes me a while to find these games. Maybe I missed it? I don't know, I don't think so. Hmm. There we go. I think the right move was Q17. But yeah, I do think the right move was Q17. Because I think this lets me off a little too easy. Getting me this side, because the Tengen move really isn't all that impactful if he does this. I don't even know if that's the right move either. I'm just going to take the comfortable 2. Because I would have definitely pincered on this because the Tengen move really isn't all that useful now if you really look at it. Tengen move definitely not all that. That move doesn't make any sense. I don't even think this is alive. Okay, I know you can kill this. I just forgot how. I think it's here. What? Okay. I can kind of see what he's trying to do, but I mean, this is very, very I mean, I'll let him live the corner. That's perfectly fine. This is actually extremely damaging for him. He's got the Sente now, so he can live the corner. Gote lived the corner, but he's given me all this. Wait, what? I mean, this is dead, first of all. So, unless he plays C19, this is actually dead. I'm taking a really big risk here, by the way. I don't think this plays out for him well, because he's actually dead. I might have messed up on this, but I don't think this plays out for him extremely well. So this actually doesn't work for him all that well. I mean, I can just do this. If I can get the Sente on this, then he's basically dead, because all I have to do is do this. That's also dead in the corner if he doesn't do something. I mean, I'm not really going to answer that. I don't have to. I think I'm just going to kill this. I think this is how you kill it. Maybe this. I don't really know. I'm actually really bad at killing these corner things. Well, I mean, this is just dead now. If he played B18, there might have been a question. I mean, this is just dead and it's my turn again, so I'm not going to bother with that because there's no two eyes here. I think if he played B18, there might have been a ko or something. I don't really know. I'll go back. I'm pretty sure if he played B18, there was a ko. This might be worth it to him just to kill this, but whatever. There's no reason to do that. I'm just going to take the double extension here. I mean, he's given up a lot of territory already to me. Like here in this corner and here in this corner. So essentially what I'm going to do is essentially just solidify my territory elsewhere. And if I can actually just do that, I should be fine. There is an invasion here. I'm not too afraid of it. That's not what I was thinking about, but sure. I'm just going to give up the bottom territory. I think L18 was definitely a better move. I can give up that bottom territory. It's not a big deal. There's too many cuts here. So I am going to just let him live here. If he doesn't play, he's dead. I guess he's not really dead. I don't really want to play the Ko with him. I think he's being overly aggressive here. Because like he's kind of like not leaving. If I do this, he can G8 it because I don't want to play the Ko there. This is dead unless he wants to play the Ko. I really don't want to play the Ko here, but whatever. Okay, now this is just dead. The Ko was to play F19. There's actually a lot of good life and death things here to actually go over, but this is just dead. Moves like that don't really make any sense. If you want to seal this in, there's not much territory here anyways, but moves like that really don't make any sense at all. Yeah, this you're kind of like just this is just like making a bad situation worse. You have to block. Because in the end, if you do this and I make this move here, like I can still cut. It doesn't really help you. Once again, like for these easily readable situations, don't play it out. Because if you actually play it out, it doesn't benefit you. You basically deny yourself of Ko opportunities if there's a Ko in the future. So a lot of this times, like you won't want to play this out. Because there are a lot of Ko opportunities. And if you completely destroy your Ko opportunities, that's going to be a negative for you, definitely. I think he should have played K5, because I'm just going to do this now. Now, there is a problem with me doing this, but... Is there? Yeah, I think there might be. I don't know if I can win this fight, actually. Tari. I don't know if I can win this fight, actually. Probably messed up. So if I do this, and he Atari's here, I only have a couple of liberties. So I don't know if I win this fight. So I guess I'm going to do this first. It's like, I only have 3 liberties here, so I got to be very careful because I don't, like I said, I don't know if I can win this fight. If I can't, I might have just killed the entire group. So we're going to do this first. Let's extend this out. Yeah, because this group didn't have enough liberties to win the fight, so that's why I gave that up. That's not a good move. You would have played, you definitely should have played P3 here, because now I can do this. Yeah, you're kind of destroying your own territory, so this is not really something you want to do. I'm not really fighting with you here, because your corner group's dead. You have to realize that I'm not fighting with you, because your corner group's actually dead. So, the thing is, I have way more liberties now, so it doesn't really matter at this point. I think that he definitely has a miscalculation here. Because eventually if I choke this, he can't connect. That really doesn't do anything, because it doesn't give him any eyes. You might be able to get those two. I'm going to actually connect this. I'll let him get this territory up here. It's not worth all that much. Plus I can just jump here too. Just gonna do that. He has to have a move in here to protect me from going to M8. I'll just play M8 then. So he should have probably played M8 or O8. I can just retreat here. And I can always give up this particular stone. To destroy a little bit of territory here. It's a trade-off that's well worth it. Yeah, so you wouldn't connect here. You would just... Wait, would I connect here? No, you would just take this. Then, like, if he doesn't... I mean, he shouldn't answer. He should... I don't know what he should play. Probably like something like this. But there's not much territory left in here. Yeah, this doesn't... I mean, he can't really stop me from destroying his territory at this point. You have to watch out for the double Atari. You have to, like, connect one of these. Yeah, make sure this has two eyes, so there's no like liberty thing later. Liberties aren't too tight, so I'm not worried. But yeah. I'm probably just going to do this later. He could try to kill it, but right now he has nowhere near enough liberties. It's going to come down here. It's going to be alive. So there's no like there's no liberty take later. It's fixing all my problems right now. Definitely just fixing all my problems right now. Connect this, make sure this is good. So like there's no like Atari and then I can't connect. It's like I tend to be a lot more careful when I know I'm winning. And just fix all the errors. Unless you play like obvious errors, I'm probably just gonna focus on just cleaning up for the most part, rather than like trying to extend my lead by too much, because the game's almost over and there's not too many points to really extend the lead on. If it was really close, I would be playing in a different way though. If the game was actually close, I would definitely be playing in a different way. But it's not that close, so we're just gonna do this. Like if the game was close, I probably would have gotten one or two more points. Been more urgent on the Sentes, but when you're winning by a lot, you basically just want to clean up at the end of the game, unless your opponent has some obvious errors. There is nothing here. Keep a very tight lid on it. Don't make any mistakes.
Pass.
There's several points here that you can actually play, and one here. I don't know why you did that. That doesn't make any sense. You have to connect this. I should have definitely played this. I'm going to connect that, just make sure I don't forget. There's also a point here, so, and a point here. So you don't want to pass right now. If it was pretty close, you don't want to pass. There's plenty of that's fine. There's plenty of like moves you can play for points. So like I probably gained 2 or 3 points off of that because he passed that one move. So you want to be careful and take a look at the board overall. I still have to connect this. So like all the force connection, that's useless. But all the force connection moves, like you want to force your opponent to do at this point, so he doesn't end up with any extra points. There's no forced Atari here because I already connected this.
Pass.
Okay, now I believe the game's over.
Remove the dead stones. You have won.
All right, so let's actually go back and review this game. This is a fairly long game. So looking at the moves here, like I said, I don't like this move. I think the best move is actually this. I don't know, like in this case, I don't, maybe white does this, I'm not really sure. Because like the Tengen move prevents me from doing too much else. Maybe, like, because if I do this and he cuts, I'm going to have a bit of trouble. I don't like this, I don't really like this for white. Maybe I would just haunt it, because without this Tengen move here, if he cuts, I can have a ladder, but with the Tengen move, I don't have a ladder anymore, so... There's definitely going to be like a little bit of trouble for white, I would guess. I'm not exactly sure how this plays out, because, you know, if he does that, I can just go down, but I'm really not sure how this actually plays out after that. So maybe I should just like approach from this side or something. But either way, that's a big loss right there, as you can see in the point movement, because you're really flattening, like you're kind of really negating the use of this Tengen move by doing this. Because the whole point of the Tengen is to build up this influence, and by doing this, you're kind of already letting me get away with it. That's fine. I'm gonna take this little nice thing here. So like my goal has been achieved. Yes, you got the corner, but I've already negated a lot of the purpose of your Tengen move. I personally think like something like this is gonna be worth a lot more. I'm gonna approach over here. This, I think you definitely want to pincer. You want to make some use of this move. I mean, having that particular stone there means you can actually pressure my stone even more, and that's what you're going to want to do. Doing this, like letting me have this, I feel like that completely negates you completely negate like an entire move, and I've also taken part of your side. So I feel like you're getting me a lot advantage there. So I'm just gonna. That doesn't make any sense. This is probably the best move right now. I mean, even if you happen to live here somehow, and you can live here. I mean, I have to connect, and then you can actually, like, you can live here. This is not like you can't live, but you basically get this corner, and you've already given me like so much influence and so much side. So even if you somehow manage to live the corner, you would still not be in a good position. So I mean, when you invade a corner, you have to like calculate the price of invading that corner. Like, is me getting this corner worth him getting like all these points here and the entire side? And the answer is probably no. And like these kind of hits, like they're not, I don't think they're correct ways to approach this right now. I think you should do this. I definitely think c5 is the best move. There's really not much for white to do here. White can probably, I mean, if white does this, you can just do this because you already have this stone here, right? So if I were white, I would probably just do this. And then, you know, coming up here, you have a decently nice shape. But of course, this is Gote right now because you have to actually respond to me. So here you would just trade this. This is fine for black. This is perfectly fine for black. You would just trade that. Because like if you do this, like you're not alive. And if you live, I'm going to take this stone, and that's a loss for black. So essentially, yeah. You might want to look at doing this actually. Well, I don't think this works. Well, no, because I can't do this, right? So yeah, you would actually look at like this. Oh, actually, yeah, like you would actually look at doing something like that because I can't do this right now. So essentially, when I do this, I think this should be pretty much immediate. I think I'm pretty sure I still win this fight. There's really not much you can do to... So if you do this, I'm just going to take this. So I do believe white still kind of wins it, but you would get a lot of influence on the outside. So this was actually a pretty bad move by me because I can't come down here. Actually, no, I can. Never mind. Never mind. This works for me. Yeah, never mind. So that actually works for me. Because you have to take this. Then I'm going to do this. And then you have to take this, and I'm going to get these four. So I guess that doesn't really work for white here, black here. So I guess like the cut, it doesn't really work because of the sequence here that I just showed you. Yeah, because of the sequence here, the cut doesn't really work all that well. So I guess this is okay. This basically guarantees that this is dead. Essentially, there's not really a sente for this. You have to extend over here, and then I'm just going to kill this. And I get the corner. I mean, this is fine. Also, I'm going to try to kill that in there. I think this probably would have been better if I did this. So, yeah, I definitely should have done this. Either this, or I should have done this. Because there is still an opportunity for black to do something like this, you know? White can't actually get out, so I would actually have to fight kind of like liberties. Now, liberties-wise, I'm almost sure I win this. Yeah, I'm almost sure I win this, but you can actually seal off the outside. So here, I'm guessing like the best move is still this. So I messed up on that. I tried to do this. Like I said, I didn't kill this right. Because like there's a stone here, like you can actually do this. And this would obviously be a ko, which would not favor me right now. This obviously just is dead, so that doesn't make any sense. This move is useless because it doesn't give you any eye space, so I'm going to take the sente there. And here, come up this way. And this sequence is just overall bad for black. I should have definitely taken time to do this sometime. Instead of doing that, like I think this is way more important. Because like I said, if you play J4, if you play J5, I have to play J4, and then you can play something like M5, which is pretty uncomfortable for me. Yeah, that doesn't need to be answered. There's no threat there. This sequence of plays doesn't really make any sense at all. You would definitely play this, right? Because you would take away my bottom territory. I might do this. Like, you would take away my bottom territory here, leaving me with the outer influence. But the outer influence doesn't really mean that much, seeing as how many, what's actually out here. So that actually doesn't make any sense. Like, doing that is bad because it gives me an easy tiger's mouth. So L18 is definitely a lot better. You do have to fix this down here. There's no question about that. Once again, I believe this move is probably ko because you have. Oh, I guess you can't do that, but like, I do actually believe this move is like you can do this. Like this I believe is actually. This doesn't really work for me because of that, but like. I have to do this, which is actually ko. So once again, you missed a ko right there to actually live this piece. So essentially, like he missed a ko over here, I think, and he missed a ko right here, and that's actually really big. That gave me actually a ton of points. Doing this, obviously, that just kills it. This sequence overall is really, really bad for black because you're not really blocking me, and you're just giving up more territory here. So yep, like for stuff like this, before you play it out, you have to calculate. You have to read. Then I'm going to threaten this. Now, the reason why I didn't just go ahead and do this is because if he does this, I don't think... no, I mean, if he does this, I don't know if I don't think I win. Atari here. I guess maybe I do. Maybe I do win. Maybe I miscalculated that because I can always do this first. Yeah, I probably do win here. Oh, that's my mistake. I probably do win. That's my mistake. I didn't read that right. But I was afraid that I didn't have enough liberties here to actually deal with this. So that's why I actually played over here. And just made sure like everything was okay there. Of course, this ends up dying. So this is obviously dead. This is obviously dead. Some of you probably are looking at this, but if on this, like, this does not work for black because he can't connect. So I read that out, so I knew that would actually work for me. So there is no way this actually lives. So that's actually dead. So I think if you did this and then I don't know. This. There's no way this can live. That's just dead. That's just a bad. It's just a bad thing. You can't force me to go down here. The big mistake was actually like when I pushed here. You need to retreat because this doesn't really do anything. I mean, I can't really do anything here. So blocking, doing that was actually a really big mistake. And a lot of this is just reading skill. Like before you play these sequence moves, you have to read this out. Okay, that's going to be this game review. And I will play another game today because I do have a little bit of time. So I'm going to create and feel free to accept this challenge. It's just on OGS. It's just on OGS. Started. There we go. All right. I think the best move is just to play this, just to play e16, rather than play here. Pincers are a little bit more complicated. There's more variations. That is one of the possible moves you can do. Okay. I don't know if that's good though. Yes, this is okay. I don't really deal with this much. If I do this, I'm afraid he has that move. Okay, so we'll see how this goes. That's not good. I think you should just Hane. This makes me a lot stronger. Letting me connect this makes me a whole lot stronger. So I think the Hane was just the right move. He might have been afraid of like me breaking this, I guess. I think like letting me do this is pretty damaging. I don't think you should let me do that because it kind of like breaks over this side. And if you're going to do this, I would definitely extend out because that means I can still do this. The purpose of this move is not to kill the stone because he can live here. It's just to kind of like help me out and strengthen my influence. I mean, if he wants me to kill the stone, I will. I don't think this is as effectual because essentially you just gave me the stone. So you kind of like solve my problems. And if you really look at what black got, I mean, like I got both these corners and this stone in this territory. And if you really look at it, black didn't really get all that much in return. So Joseki is all about exchanging. And he didn't really get that much in exchange for all the territory that I got. That's pretty important here. You could say you got a bit of outer influence, but I got the J17 move here, which kind of negates a lot of his influence. And I got a lot of territory here. And plus, now I don't really have any weak groups. Does that really matter? I don't think that matters. No, I'm just gonna... I don't think you want to trade this right now because I should have connected, by the ways. Yeah, see, like, he's making a lot of... So you spent a lot of moves here building this influence, and letting me just come out here and reduce this influence for free, not a good move. That's like, that kind of negates the purpose of doing this in the first place. So I definitely have, like, right now, I would say, like, I definitely like my position better than his. Like I said, I probably shouldn't have done that, but huh. That was probably a bad move. I probably should have just let him go. Oh, this is a bad move for him. It's 100% a bad move for him. It's a horrible move for him, actually. I don't think he should have answered that. I think he should have just played Q. I think he should have done this. This gives me a lot of this would have actually given me a lot of problems had he actually done that. But he did get a lot of corner territory here though. This corner territory really, he doesn't get that much corner territory here because I can always jump here. And this is going to be Sente for me. So also, like, I think I can just kind of do this. I'm not really sure if this is viable or not. I think it is. I'm not sure. You know what? I'm just going to take the easy route. I'm definitely just going to take the easy route on this one. I'll do this. just going to fix whatever problems I have left here. And that would actually leave him with some outer problems here as well. I think this is bad for me, actually. But I'm securing my territory down here, essentially. I think that corner is actually fairly large. I probably shouldn't have let him get all this territory. So I don't think that's a good move because I can just do this later on. Or you can just do that first, but I mean, it doesn't really matter, I guess. I don't think that has much value. Forcing here has way more value. You're letting me get too... I think he's letting me get too much of this territory here. In hopes of getting something up here in return. And I don't know how much that's going to play out for him. I have to do that, I guess. Do I even want those two? Because remember, those two are just those two. My whole goal was to secure this, and it's already been secured. So I'm thinking I'm just going to do this. But then he can just charge here, I guess. I'll just do this. And I also have this particular move right now. I don't know how he's going to answer a lot of these things. He can only get territory on one of the two sides. He can't have both. This is going to be really problematic for him. Or it could be really problematic for me. because this is not secure. That's really huge. I mean, I can also come over here and get all this territory on the bottom, so that's really devastating for him. I'm obviously going to take away this first. Cannot block here. He might have actually made the right move there. He should have choked here. Remember, like, he got this territory, but I got all of this territory. So it's not like a big win for him. I'm not really sure what he's trying to do with that one. He might be able to live if I go that way. But he's already delivered like an extra point for me here, so this is okay. He's just feeding me more points here. He doesn't have enough liberties to fight this. I can pretty much ignore that. This is very big.
You have won.
Yeah. So let's actually go over this game because I think he didn't actually have I think he actually had a decent start here. This is pretty basic. I think the best is just to do this. And just play this out like this. I feel like that's probably the best way for black to play this. This is generally a losing move because you're not getting too much in here and you're making white a lot stronger. Okay, yeah, this should have been this. That puts me in a pretty uncomfortable position, and you're pretty good on both sides. So I probably should have done this first and then waited on this and then done this. I know this is big, but it's not as big as this. So I made a mistake there. That's a mistake. You definitely need to do this. Like, since you gave up this Hane, you absolutely need to do this. Letting me do this is just too comfortable. I'm not gonna go this way. I'm obviously gonna try to kill this stone here with this, and then, like, you know, letting you pincer like this isn't such a big deal because now if you really look at it, like, you're not really getting anything over here. I already have these stones over here. I'm gonna kill your stone, and you're still in a pretty uncomfortable position here as black. Generally, you don't want to do this move. Like, there's other moves you can do that you take away by doing this move. So you don't want to do this move generally. That's probably a bad move by me. I probably should have just done this immediately. I'm going to go ahead and do this. That's not a good move. I feel like here you just do this. Because there's no reason to mess with this anymore, and you just do this. This would actually, like, be pretty even right now for white and black. But, like, I don't think this is actually a good move for white. This sequence of exchanges generally favors me. And if you're going to do this, he does that. I would definitely pincer with this one. You have this wall here. So I would try to use this wall to actually attack this stone. Because like you let me off, I definitely should have done this. Yeah, this should have been first. Like, the thing is, like, you spend a lot of moves building up this wall, so you got to make use of that wall. Not making use of that wall essentially like gives me a makes white very very comfortable. You also have this move, and building a big territory like this is a lot more threatening to me than building like a territory starting from this line. So letting me do this, like this cancels the effect of this wall essentially. But the game isn't too bad yet. So after I do this, you either don't do anything or just do this immediately. So I think this is the right move. Well, no, actually, that's not the right move. Like here, after when I do this, you do this immediately. I feel like that's the best move. It puts white in a very uncomfortable position. Or something like that. I think this is a this might be a decent that might actually be decent for black. Letting me do this is too comfortable for me. Your corner is still vulnerable to my attack. Your corner is still vulnerable to me. I basically destroyed your influence. You did get a lot of territory though, so it's not too bad. That's also a pretty good big move. I'm gonna go in here and then do that. I feel like when I do this, you might not just answer. You might just not answer, or you can just do this. Because the corner, this territory might not be big enough. This is actually really big. Yeah, I forgot about the Atari there. So you force on this. The game's still pretty close right now. I'm going to cut this first. This is definitely a Hane. This is most definitely a Hane because this is Sente for you. So like you forced me to connect this way. Doing this, so like when you do this, I get Sente, and that's very bad for black because you're giving up a move. So I'm gonna go ahead and strengthen my corner here. That's not a good move. I mean, if you're gonna answer at all, you would just do this, because like you doing this essentially like fixes my problem here for free. Now this is completely dead, and there's no use for this. There's no Aji here anymore. And plus, like I still have here, so like you take this away, that's good. But you know, like you made me a lot stronger here. I'm not really sure what I should have done here. Maybe I wanted to do this because I know this is really big. R18 is also really big. So I don't really think that this is the correct move. If you're gonna do this, I would actually just go ahead and double Hane. Maybe do something like that. I mean, as white, I wouldn't extend up. So, and also like as white, when you double Hane, I probably would have just connected. That's a much better. That's actually a much better result for black. It's fine. I think this was. I think this is a mistake. These two just aren't worth very much. Because I don't really care about the stone. My whole purpose was to secure this down here, and it's already secure. So realistically, when you did this, I should have just ignored you and like, done this or something. Because this isn't really all that big. These two stones are not all that big. They're like 4 or 5 points. So when I did this, you should have done something else, like maybe something like this. Or like secure this over here. That's fine. You're getting this territory, but like you're just not getting enough because you gave up like all these points down here. You gave up these points here, and you gave up a lot of points like elsewhere too, like in this corner. So you're not getting quite enough for the sacrifice. This is going to be a problem. Like there was never too many points in here to begin with, but this is definitely going to be a bit of a problem here. So I feel like you probably, I don't know if this works or not. That probably, yeah, like that actually doesn't work out for me. So like this invasion is pretty much a failure because you do have to calculate out the liberties, right? Because you can choke white like this, and white can't actually connect if he does that, if you do that. So there's like I completely miscalculated this, but obviously like if you do that, it's just too much. So here you definitely want to just do this. Let me come down. Like that's probably the best you can ask for right now. Because if you block, obviously I have this charge. And I could have just done this, which is probably what I should have done. Because if you do this, I will gladly take this. So I made the wrong decision there. Here you can just do this, that's what it should have done. That's the better Atari. This doesn't really make any sense. This just gives me more points. And yeah, like when you see this is dead, so you would just go ahead and do this. Lessens out my territory, gives you a little bit more. I mean, doing this essentially just feeds me more stones. So this doesn't really make much sense here. Taking these two right now, it's still not big enough. That's way bigger. This is actually pretty big. But I would say that this is bigger right now. Remember, like I can't really disconnect. You still have this. So I think this one there's more points there. I mean, you just have to count these points, right? If black extends here, you're denying. Look, I mean, if you look at how many points that white gets here, right? If you extend here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this is like 7 or 8 at least. And plus, like, there's always the chance that white goes here. This one's a little bit harder to actually do because I feel like there's maybe 5 there. So this is a couple more points here, definitely on the corner. So that's that game. Very interesting, like kind of like move and counter move, how to play Josekis and stuff, and basically like just how to follow through. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button, and I will see you guys later.